maybe this is just me, but have you also been recommended a bunch of city pop video game soundtracks? For me, it all started with this album, Kingdom Hearts City Pop Soundtrack. Star San. Late one night, I was grinding out some sick goals when my normal music playlist stopped motivating me. So, I went to my YouTube recommendations to find something that would excite me. Now, I'm not really a Kingdom Hearts fan. I think I enjoy everything about it except for playing the games, considering I only touched the first one when I was a wee lad, and still know way more about the franchise than I. Anyways, I started playing this album while I farmed clips, and my first impressions were really good. It got the job done, it was catchy, and one song in particular, a cover of Simple and Clean by Hikaru Utada, caught my attention so much that I recommended it to a friend who already was a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. Also, hey, I'm editing this right now. What the fuck? Why can't I find the original Simple and Clean opening of the original Kingdom Hearts? All it has is the 1.5 like club remix opening. Just find me the fucking original opening with these. For the next few days, I dove into the rabbit hole to see if they made any other songs of that quality that I liked. And that's when I noticed something peculiar. Their entire YouTube page was filled with covers of video game soundtracks. And not just like covers of songs from video game soundtracks, like one song from Ruby or Sapphire or one song from Wind Waker. The original soundtrack, just in a city pop style. And this isn't some established creator who's been making music like this their entire career. This YouTube channel was created in March of 2025. It's got 15 videos that are at least 45 minutes long. Each video contains about 15 tracks per soundtrack from the respective video game. So like, that's a lot of content just coming out of the gate in March. At this point, I started to wonder, is this AI? And then I really start to delve into the rabbit hole. So I start checking all the descriptions, and lo and behold, you find stuff like this. Is this AI generated? Each track begins with an AI generated sample. Some turn out surprisingly cool, others not so much. We treat these samples as starting points, then carefully edit, remix, and arrange them in FL Studio, layering different elements together. The raw output usually needs a lot of love before it's ready to groove. Artwork is created in Photoshop, using official visuals to build collages inspired by classic 80s and 90s CD covers. Star 2 bubbles! No AI is involved in this art, just hands-on editing, curating, and design. We're artists first. We know what it's like to spend hours crafting something from scratch. That's why we used AI to not do that. That's why we used AI as a tool, to help speed up and enhance our workflow, not to replace the human touch. AI doesn't create great art. Artists do. Sorry, wait, the punctuation on this is kind of fun. AI doesn't create great art. Artists do, and we'll keep using every tool we can to make something beautiful for those who enjoy it. Who's singing? Yep, these vocals are AI too. We generate and fine-tune them just like the rest of the soundtrack. Sometimes we pitch, chop, or layer them. No voice clones are used in the making of the voices. Cool, so you used AI to make it. This disclaimer is exactly the type of disclaimer a video like this should have. It breaks down AI's involvement in the production and also where human hands touched the art. The art. What rubs me the wrong way as a listener is the fact that I just don't fucking believe them. Personally, I'd like to know as a musician myself how much a lot of love is, because I want to know how much you did to that sample to actually create this song. Did they just generate a prompt that was unsatisfactory and keep creating more and more prompts until eventually they get something they like? Did they have an idea for how a melody would go and they city popified it using the AI? It's unclear whether or not the creator is lying about how much they're involved. And sure, I'm aware that generative AI isn't at the point where it can fully create a perfect song. God, I hope that stays the case for a long, long time. But not knowing how much the person who's showing me this music actually put into this music when they're telling me, yes, they did put in work, it makes me think it's just all AI. I don't want this video to be me just ragging on a creator because they used AI. So let me just commend the artist for composing this song real quick with the help of his AI. I'll admit it must be fun and somewhat creatively fulfilling to develop some of these samples into a fully composed song that inches closer and closer to that idea that you had in your head. But at the same time, the AI is discrediting all the work the human put in, because once they use the AI at all to generate anything, why don't I just assume they did that for everything? Like I said, I don't want to put anybody down or pick on anyone in particular for wanting to create, even if I disagree with the means of creation in general. I just want to highlight why creating stuff like this is harmful to people who are unaware that what they are listening to is AI. Like, look at this. In another channel's video description, they mentioned that they made the music with Adobe Audition, which is honestly laughable. First spin. Everything starts with AI-generated samples. Like rough sketches on an old notebook. Some are surprisingly catchy, others straight to the bin. They're just launch pads. I remix, rework, and rebuild inside of Adobe Audition until the track feels like something you could dance to at sunset. You're telling me that you made a song that you are showing to people in Adobe Audition? Who the fuck are you, Burial? Like, really? Adobe Audition? Of course that's a lie. That's not a program that people make music in. I make music. I'm qualified to say this. If you make music in Adobe Audition, that's the magical part. The magic isn't a city pop cover of Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. It's the fact that you're making music in fucking Audition. That program has no MIDI capabilities. What are you even doing? Anyways, the channel I just highlighted has a Patreon, and if you want to support them, I suppose, but I personally wouldn't want to give my money to something that's essentially doing this just to make money. And how do I know they're doing this just to make money? Well, they're not the only channel doing this exact idea. This channel's been around for 3 years, but started uploading videos back in February of 2025. Immediately you'll notice a trend. Spinning CD, jewel case album cover, concept art and or fan art used for the album cover. I'm no artificial intelligence, but I know a thing or two about pattern recognition. And when you see at least 3 YouTube channels within the same time span doing the exact same content, you get a little suspicious. So let's look at a few descriptions from this channel and see if maybe we see some patterns. Every sound gets polished until it hits that smooth, magnetic feel. Visuals curated with care. Mostly pulled from official materials and fan art, pieced together through collage style in Photoshop. If the right art doesn't exist, I'll carefully weave in AI-generated visuals, but always tweak to fit the vibe. No one-click solutions here. What? Videos stitched up in Premiere Pro. Every frame tied back to the music? What are you fucking talking about? It's just a spinning CD. Oh, if we're in Little Root, it's gonna be Little Root in the background. Oh, philosophy? Tools are tools. Real grooves need a human hand. AI might spark an idea, but soul comes from grinding, layering, reworking, chasing that feeling until it hits. Quick note, while the title says city pop, sometimes a track might lean more into Japanese jazz fusion, or even be a lovingly remastered version of the original. No boxes, just chasing the best feeling of each tune. Is it just me, or does it sound like he's having trouble making the AI make city pop songs and he's just trying to justify it? Like, ah, shit, this isn't city pop, this is clearly Japanese jazz, or an authentic recreation cover of the original song. I guess I'll just let them know. Like, could you imagine if someone actually created like a city pop recreation album of one of these video game soundtracks, and then they were like, sorry, this track, we just couldn't get it in a city pop style. Ooh, okay, this one's worse than the last. This description comes off way too uppity. The syntax of it makes it seem like the curating the AI is doing is more impactful than just making music of any caliber. Mentioning that most of the AI's creation going straight to the bin makes me question, like, how much you're actually adding to it. Like, so you get a sample from the AI and you're like, oh, this one's bad. And you just this one, not good enough. Throw it away. And then you're just like, all right, on to the next one. You get the next one and you're like, this one, not good either. All right, straight to the bin. What's the next one? Like, are you just sitting there going like, not good enough, 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 until one of them's like, oh, one of them's good enough. The fact that you're showing me AI anything makes me think, yeah, it's all just straight out of the AI. I don't view your work highly at all because it doesn't sound like you did any work. And I'm not saying I know exactly how you created these albums, but again, when you dabble with AI, everyone's gonna question whether or not the whole process is AI generated. The description also claims that the mixing, producing, saturating, and mastering of the album were all done by the creator. Producing and mixing are about the most I expect this creator to actually do in this production, but when he says stuff like EQing and saturating, that's embellishment. EQing maybe, but you would just call that mastering. Let's face it, when an AI creates the samples for your song and stems for your song, and you take those pieces and compose them into a final product, you're probably more of a co-producer than a producer, right? Another element I wanted to highlight in the description was this: visuals created with care, mostly pulled from official materials and fan art, pieced together through collage style in Photoshop. If the right art doesn't exist, I'll carefully weave in AI-generated visuals. Kind of an odd choice to say that you generate images when the right art doesn't exist, when the rest of the art you use is probably fan art, which you already don't have permission to use. Like, maybe don't steal art from fan artists while also creating art built from AI models that's probably built using their fan art. And if this were how the description looked on just this one video, then maybe I'd be a little bit more lenient or a little less suspicious. But you check every video description on every video on channels like this, and you'll either find nothing, because I assume they aren't diligent enough to go in and fix a description once they're found out to be AI, or a description with basically the exact same viewpoints and sentiments as all of these other channels. AI tools are just tools for humans to use. I use AI tools until it starts to sound like what I envision in my head. Human hands in cooperation with AI. It's just so silly. It's just so silly. It's just so silly the way these channels try to worm around the fact that they're essentially just uploading some AI's interpretation of their favorite video game albums. They'll hide their explanations deep in descriptions, they'll sugarcoat how much work is actually being done by human hands, they'll make as many of these as possible just to flush the market, and just in hopes that one of them's gonna get big so that they can make money. All of this while trying their best to hide the fact that yes, this is indeed AI, to get new fans to pay money for their music. And what are the odds that this channel has a Bandcamp where you can buy all of these albums, just in case you couldn't make them yourself? And like, as someone who wants to be a music guy, it's like disheartening seeing a trend like this pop up. And my only hope is to make sure I don't get recommended channels like this in the future. It's up to them to make sure that these users are enforced and let others know that they're using AI to create these albums, or just not create these albums at all. Beyond all of this, I guess it wouldn't be that bad if the music was alright. And sometimes it is alright, like the kind of alright that's unnoticeable if you don't pay attention. But the quality of the sound coming from these albums is pretty low, actually. Like, give a listen to this sample right now. It's grainy, it's a little bit vinyl, it's old school, it's like it's being played off of a record player or like a scratched audio cassette tape, because it kind of is. So when you ask it, hey AI, can you make Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald's OST but in a city pop style? It's going to listen to these city pop songs, find out how gravelly the original recordings are, and go, well, that's just how city pop is, because that's all I know, and put gravel into the sound. And does gravel make the sound better? Low quality make the song better? No, it just makes it sound old. And there are like real tricks you can do to actually make your song sound authentically old while still being new and high quality. And that's the type of stuff that producers are for, and that's why AI is shit. That low quality graininess, you're gonna hear that in every single city pop recreation cover album. And it's not even just true for city pop. You're gonna hear it in Cumbia-inspired Banjo-Kazooie? Anyways, the quality of the sounds produced by the AI never come close to the quality of just recording a real instrument, or even a MIDI instrument. Like, come on. It's like generative AI is like a plague on many industries in the artistic community, and music is potentially like the one that's the most damaged by it. Like, if I were to make a city pop cover album of Kingdom Hearts, would that be the end of music or my creativity? No, probably not. But what it would do is make the people listening have a lower expectation of quality as to what's good sounding music, and have a higher expectation as to how much music we should be creating as a society. So what that's doing is damaging the people who are actually doing this shit. The people who are actually making cover albums of video game music and uploading them to YouTube, real and authentic ones. Those people who actually put in the hard work, who train, are at a detriment when we create music like this. The output becomes the problem. These people make these albums once a week. Imagine making a cover album once a week. How many songs are in Kingdom Hearts? How many songs would you do? The value of actual music is increasing day by day, and I hope someday a human puts the necessary blood, sweat, and tears into their Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green City Pop cover album, devoid of all AI elements whatsoever. But for now, the best we can do is stay vigilant of the patterns of those scuzzy assholes with their AI creations. For starters, if it's a new channel, be suspicious. Anything newly made in the year 2025 is subject to scrutiny at this point. If there's been an influx of videos since the beginning of 2025, I'd also be fairly cautious of that music's validity. If they use this style of presentation in their video, I'd be cautious. I've only found one channel that I think might be AI generated that doesn't emulate this style, although it doesn't state anywhere in the description, so the jury's out on that one. Lastly, I'd check the comment section. In all of these sections, you'll find people raving about how awesome these regurgitated albums are, but then you'll notice one or two users who buck up and realize, hey, this is AI, you piece of shit, and then the user feels obligated to jump in and comment, yes, it is AI generated, and actually, I am a creative work. Like, they really need to defend their use of AI, like they personally are being attacked. So look for the comments, find the detractors who say, yes, this is AI, and I will not stand for it, and you usually will find the person who made the song replying something about AI. I started making this video originally because I noticed a pattern. But now I want this video to be a cautionary tale and a message to those creators about making these albums. First, this one goes out to the viewers. Be more cautious about what you watch. Not everything you see on YouTube is right. I don't even mean factually, I mean morally. Just because you like a creator or their creations doesn't mean their opinions or creations are correct. It just means you think they're neat. Think for yourself, always. And to the creators out there who are making these videos, open up about your processes more. Show us how you make this music. The value of these AI albums isn't how good they are or how close they are to your original vision. It's how much work you personally are putting into them. Again, it's about the human touch. Show us the process. Show us how much of your hard work was actually put into this. Show us how much the AI did. Show us what you can do to be a better producer with or without AI in general, just a better producer. Show us how we can grow. What you're showing us isn't teaching us anything or making us grow. It's just a thing. Maybe use the experience of crafting those albums to create one solely out of your own talent and see how far you can actually take it. Stop polluting our world with uninspired, inhuman garbage and start retaking your creativity. Thank you.